today's episode is a little special for me. Not just because we are talking about Angular, scalable systems, and developer careers, but also because I'm sitting down with someone special. I've known her for years, seen grown closely and deeply respect as a technologist and a leader. If you're a developer, a founder, or someone navigating your place in tech, this conversation is for you. Welcome back to the podcast. I am Savi Jain, your host for today. I am founder and CEO of Kofiato, and this podcast is brought to you by Google for Developers Indore. And today I'm joined by Srishti Jain, founder and CEO of TechBrush and a Google developer expert for Angular. Srishti has over 10 years of experience in web and mobile application development with strong expertise in Angular, modern front-end architectures, clean code, performance optimization, and developer experience. She's also a mentor, a public speaker, and an active contributor to the tech community. Srishti, it's genuinely great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Before we get started, full disclosure, we are really good friends. So do you remember the first time we actually met? Or what tech conversation we had? Or was it already a debate on best practices?
I don't really remember. It was into the community when we started. It was some community event, I would say some MVP or some that related stuff going on at that time, I guess 10 plus years back. And that was conversation might have started with something I don't remember, but it ends with the best practices and what things are going into the community and all.
Definitely. So, looking back, did you ever imagine your journey to be like this? Like a founder, a GDE, speaker, a public figure?
No. So, when we started, when I started with the career, at that time I was thinking that I have to do my best, whatever I'm doing. So, I started with that, being in a job, doing that thing, and then contributing into the community. There's no that I didn't have the checklist that I would get this particular recognition and all. But these things are, I would say, it is came with the consistency which I was present in the community, and then community recognized that, and I got that recognition as a GD and all.
So let's go back a bit. How did your journey into the technology began, and what kept you going during the early years?
So when I started with computers, and back in when I was in 6th, 7th standard, so I really love using that. Usually all the people like using computers, doing paints and all. After some time I started with the programming in that, and I really like the things that it is impacting the people. There was one software which I made for one of the company. My father was there, and they were struggling with something. So in my second year of my engineering, I created a software for them. It was a basic quiz-based software where they can do those pass the tests and all. So it was like that, and at that time I realized my father was really happy, and I was seeing the feedbacks that in their company they were really liking it, and they awarded me for some things over that time, right? So at that time I realized, okay, this is something which is impacting people, it is helping them, and by getting the feedbacks I can improve myself, right? So that thing goes, and right now I'm here.
Amazing. So was technology always the plan? So you said you started back in 6th, 7th class, and then it was fancy. So you always wanted to become a technologist?
At that time I don't think I didn't had that thing in mind. But going forward after my high school and all, I realized, okay, this is something which I really think I can do, like problem solving skills. I was able to do those things at that time. So I think, yeah, I would be able to resolve some sort of this problem going forward, like maybe in designing systems, or maybe when you are working in architecture, you have to think through that, right? So yeah, I at that time I realized, okay, this is something I can explore.
Amazing, amazing. So, what were the some early stage struggles that people don't usually see, like starting your career out in tech?
Okay, so I would say sleepless nights. So it is like that when we started, there was not much companies over here in Indore, so people, like students, have this in things in mind that they want to go to somewhere like in a big cities in India, right? So those things are in mind that okay, I have to do. Then I stick to Indore and started my journey from here only. But I want to do something more, so I started with being in a community, then contributing innocent in the community, and then also being a part over there, like doing more things at work, so that they will recognize, okay, she is there and working as expected.
Okay, so coming to your GD journey, you are also a Google developers expert for Angular, and which many developers aspire to be. So, what does that role really involve, and what did the journey have for you?
I would say it is more like not a recognition only, but a responsibility which is given to me. So when I see down the line, when I'm seeing someone who is, and that's at that particular stage, so I would say that they have some responsibilities to pass on to the fellow student or the person who is looking into you, right? So yeah, it is more into like what you are giving into the community, and that responsibility comes with that, with the GD role. Yeah.
So, be really honest. After becoming a GD, how many messages did you get asking for referrals?
Yeah, so there was few like before this only, and my LinkedIn inbox is filled with that. People are asking like what is the process and all, how they can be someone like GD, how they can be that. But yeah, I would say, like jokes apart, I would say this is my responsibility to guide them through that. And if they are that much capable and they can provide back to the communities as being a GD, then I would definitely help them through the process.
Definitely. So, you often talk about clean architecture and scalable front-end systems. So, from your experience, what are the most common mistakes that early stage teams make while building large Angular applications?
So, majorly, if we talk about Angular is more about when you are doing it for large scale, right? Enterprise level application. So, if we are talking about enterprise, we would say that it would be for a long term. And if people usually what they do is when they start, they don't really care about the architecture and how they will scale things, how to manage the code and right. They didn't really focus on the front end part. But the thing is, when you are working in this sort of a large project, this is the first thing you have to take care of, that you should have a clean architecture. Over the period of time, eventually you have to update it. But it would be a good practice when you are starting from scratch and using those good practices while creating that.
Okay. So, what is one front-end anti-pattern that instantly triggers you?
Yeah, that is over-engineering. So people, you over-engineer a lot of things. Like let's say in Angular, they are using state management. So they make it that much complex sometimes. So it would mess up your code. And let's say if someone new developer is coming into that particular phase, then maybe they won't understand, or they might take much time to learn the code back, right? So I would say we shouldn't over engineer the things. We should keep it simple, but in a mannered way, so that your code is not messed up, but not as like over engineered.
Okay. So, coming to your founder journey, you're also the founder and CEO of TechVraksh. Congratulations on that. So, what problems were you trying to solve? And like when you started, what problems were you trying to solve?
So I would say it was somehow my goal when I started my career. It was somehow my goal was that I will start a company. I don't know what was the thought at that time, but when I started, there was this thought that there is a gap between businesses and the people who want to work. So I might can fulfill that thing. And there are a lot of people who don't have they do have a good technical skills, but they didn't have the platform to present that, right? So maybe I can provide that particular platform. I can help them growing in a career. So that was my thing too. I started with.
Okay. So, which role is more exhausting, being a CEO or debugging the code at 2 a.m.?
Being debugging is at 2 a.m. is something exhausting, right? But it does have some answer at the end of the day, right? But being a CEO, that role is subtle, and you have to, there are a lot of things which comes and go in between, and you have to resolve it in your phase, right? You don't know what's coming next.
There's no certainty, right? In it, definitely. I can completely relate. So, yeah. I want to talk to you about something really important. As a woman in technology with over a decade of experience, have you faced hardships that you feel are specific to gender?
I would say few times, yes. But like at my work, when I was in a company and in the community also, there were few times I did get that sort of a rejection where you feel that inferior, right? But a lot of time my male colleagues and the community people, they really help me overcome those things, and they really help me cover like what you are doing is good. Maybe at that time I thought, okay, not I maybe I have done some talk, or maybe I have written some article. So a lot of people from the community helped me. Okay, you have written a really nice one. Maybe that was a beginner friendly only, but they helped me to overcome my thoughts that
You overcome your imposter syndrome.
exactly. Yeah, so I would say that though people helped me, it was not really difficult for me to coming from, like if you are saying that coming from the women as a women background, there's no as such problem I get.
Okay. So, did you ever feel the need to prove yourself a bit more than your peers?
Sometimes and it is not like in offices, obviously there are a lot of politics and all, right? So you feel like you have to do a lot to if you are doing something, how you have to show, you have to do more and more, so that people will look that okay, she is working on that. And yeah, sometimes it is like that, you have to do and do more for proving that. But I would say in the community when I come, it is a totally opposite for me. So my experience was male peers, they were really helpful, and they really like push you to go forward. They know like there is a stage, and you can do it. Somehow you can do it. And there was some time that I was freezing on stage, but the community people who were around me, they helped me a lot overcome that. And I remember one of my talk at NG Sri Lanka. It was Anglers annual event in Sri Lanka. So that was at that time I was freezing, and people who were with me, they helped me a lot to overcome that. And that's at that time my stage fear was gone, and I at that time people really liked that talk, right? So yeah, I would say I get a lot of help from the peers.
So the community has evolved to become so the technology and the community has evolved a lot, becoming very inclusive these days, right?
Yes.
And equal opportunities for everybody.
There's equal opportunities, and they are preferring women developers to come forward. Like in our case also, in the event we do over here in the GDG Indore and all, right? So a lot of time we do have a team who are working end to end in everything. So it is not like people are only males who are working from, they only know that what is the procedure to do. People over here, women can also do an event from end to end. Like they can do registrations, they can do for foods and all. They can do everything. So yeah, people are helping and they are growing in a that way. So I really like that thing from the community.
Okay, amazing to hear that. So it's really amazing to know that more and more women are stepping up for leadership roles. Like you yourself, you are in a C-suite, and there are very less women in like on the table or like in a decision-making position. So what do you feel about that for the next generation?
Yeah, I would say there will be a lot of people, a lot of females will be coming. A lot of women are already doing many things, but the thing is there are a lot of responsibility which comes with the tag women, right? With the, if you are talking about home, if you are talking about in a work also, you have a different sort of a responsibility which people usually don't see, right?
Hidden biases.
Yeah, right. So I would say, yeah, in future definitely there would be a lot of women who will be like doing really nice, and
more and more women are stepping up, and because I think it's all like a butterfly effect. Like more women are becoming C-suite or in leadership position, and then more women are seeing them as role models, and then they are also stepping up. So it's like a community effect.
good. So people usually push each other, right?
Definitely.
So when like
Push it together, we grow.
exactly.
So coming to mentorship and community, you spend a lot of time mentoring and contributing to the community. So when developers come to you confused about their careers, what do you usually tell them? Like what's your first approach to help them?
Okay, so let's say if someone is student and they want a career guidance, what I suggest is don't focus on any particular tech. They right now they are into that, ma'am, should I go with mean stack or should I learn Python, should I go with Mun stack and all, right? They have these sort of a problem. But when we suggest them, when I go and tell them, okay, don't think about these particular things, go for learning from the basic, like what is the OOPS fundamentals they know, like OOPS concept, what is that, then what is, like if you are designing a system, what would the flow, you should know how to resolve a problem. You should think about like which language I will use. Language is changing like over a decade which I'm working, or before that also when I was in a college, a lot of languages were there, but right now they are extinct. Yeah, they run like old softwares only using that, but the not new software, right? So a lot of those things will be updating. You should know the basics. You should make your fundamentals good. So that's what I like really go and tell them that go for the fundamentals only.
I would completely second that. So, what is like with AI becoming more and more prominent, how should developers future-proof themselves?
Yeah, this is concerning. So AI is, I would say, a really nice thing to have, and if you are using it learning, like if you are not using it, then you won't be there in the community after some time, like the tech community, right? So you should learn those things. AI, you should upscale. AI is helping you how you can do things, but why you want to do that, you have to tell them like this is the system I have to build. You will get good opportunities after that, that good projects are coming. You can create it in a, let's say, if it was taking let's say 6 months or an year to build a particular product, it might take lesser time. So people who are starting learning the basics, so they should use AI to learn the things, but not go into like copy pasting those things.
Not trust AI blindly.
Right, exactly. But it is good to use, and I would definitely suggest them to use AI for learning. It is really helpful tool, and pro versions are like
Really good. And AI is evolving each day, so you never know what is coming. So one should definitely upskill. So let's do this fun round. Let's do a rapid fire round. Quick round. Do not overthink.
okay.
Tabs or spaces?
Spaces,
Dark mode or light mode?
dark mode, obviously.
One Angular feature that you love the most?
Right now, signals.
Okay. One thing developers should stop over engineering?
State management.
Definitely. On a personal note, having seen your journey very closely, what's something people don't see behind the talks, titles or achievements?
I would say sleepless nights, and also that imposter syndrome which you got at the time. So a lot of things happens when you are in the like path. Right now also you are not fulfilled that you have achieved, because a person is not okay that you have achieved this, now you have to stop, right? So I am right now also in that stage that I have some goals for a future, and then I have to resolve the things to get that particular role, right?
So, Shrishti, thank you so much for this conversation, for the insights and the honesty and the laughs. It's inspiring to see how you have built your career while lifting others all along the way. And to everyone watching, this session is brought to you by Google for Developers Indore. And if this conversation resonates with you, please like, share and subscribe. Drop your thoughts and questions in the comments, and we would love to hear from you. I'll see you in the next episode.